Good morning, everyone. Welcome in. We are just waiting a couple of minutes to let everybody join us today. So we will get started in just a couple of minutes. Good morning, everyone. We are going to go ahead and get started for today. So I'm Melanie Medina. I am a Student Academic Success Specialist for the College of Health and Human Sciences Success Center. So welcome to our potential undeclared pre-nursing students and all the families joining us today. We're glad to have you on with us here today, even if it's virtually. Our aim for today's webinar is introduce you to the Undeclared Pre-Nursing Advising Team and give you a little insight into what it means to be undeclared pre-nursing at San Jose State University. And before we get started, I want to go over a few housekeeping items. So first off, we are in webinar mode. So what does this mean? It means that us as our panelists and your host for today, we are not able to see you or hear you. We just kind of see each other. So because of this, we will be using the Q&A feature to answer any questions that you may have. So if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to put them in the Q&A, and we will make sure to either answer them live towards the end of the presentation, or we will also be answering some as we go on the Q&A feature. And lastly, we will be recording this session, so you can always refer back to it and share with anyone who wasn't able to attend today. So before we go ahead and get started with the presentation, we do have a poll we would like to share with all of you. And this is just so that we get to know you a little bit more. So a poll has popped up on your screen. It's a quick poll, just 5 questions, nothing super crazy or hard. There are no wrong answers. So please feel free to go ahead and take a quick minute or two to answer the questions, and we will go ahead and see what everyone answered. So our first question that we have is, why are you interested in nursing? The next question is, have you submitted your intent to roll? Is anyone in your family a nurse? What are you most looking forward to at San Jose State? And where are you joining us from today? So I see that I have a couple of participants. We are about halfway there. We'd love for everyone to participate so we get to know each and every one of you a little more. So I'm going to give it a couple more seconds to give everybody a chance to answer those questions. We have about 4 of you left to answer, so I'm going to give you one last chance to answer so that we can go ahead and see a little bit more about you. We're almost there. Last person. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll, and I will be sharing everybody's answer. Okay, so our first question was, why are you interested in nursing? We have a couple that said good salary, a couple that said job security, a couple I want to help people and family expectations and other. So the majority was I want to help people. So you were able to answer more than one question and everybody answered I want to help people. So I love seeing that, especially because as nursing people that are interested in nursing, that's what we want to hear from our future providers. So have you submitted your intent to roll? This is kind of 50-50. So we have yes and no. And if you haven't, please mark your calendars for May 1st. That is the deadline for your intent to roll here at San Jose State University. So make sure you get that taken care of so we can make sure that you will be joining us in the fall. So is anyone in your family a nurse? We had majority say yes, so that's amazing to see that you all have somebody influential in your life that you would like to kind of follow their steps. So that's really cool. What are you most looking forward to at San Jose State? I see that mostly everybody says exploring downtown San Jose. Yes, there is a lot to do around here. If you're looking to make friends, if you're looking for food places, there is definitely a lot for you to explore every single day. And where are you joining us from today? So I see most of you are from here, the Bay Area, and we have a couple of other people in other areas in California. So thank you so much for taking some time and letting us get to know you a little bit more. So I will go ahead and hand it over to Ashley DeFenser, and she will kick things off for us.
Thank you so much, Melanie, for that warm welcome. Welcome everyone again to our informational session on undeclared pre-nursing. We are coming to you virtually from San Jose State University, and one of our biggest claims to fame is that we are the oldest public school of higher education, and we are the founding CSU of the 23 CSU campuses. So a lot of history here at San Jose State. We're also the fifth largest CSU with over 33,000 students enrolled. And we would be excited to have all of you be here in the fall joining us, as Melanie mentioned, to make sure to mark your calendar for May 1st, intend to enroll. My name is Ashley DeFenser, and I'm the Assistant Director of Undeclared Pre-Nursing and Nursing Advising. And I am joined today by my colleagues, Melanie, who we've already met, and Maximiliano Estrada, who you'll be meeting in a few minutes. We are going to be giving you a brief overview of what it means to be undeclared pre-nursing, what our role is as your advisors, and we'll answer some of your questions, as Melanie mentioned. Just remember, we are using the Q&A function, so put your questions there at the bottom of your Zoom screen, the Q&A icon. And we did want to give you also the link in the chat to our personal Admitted Spartan Day website, where you can refer back in a few days to find a recording of this video. So you can refer back to it and watch it as many times as you need. So what does it mean to be undeclared, and who are we? We are the Undeclared Pre-Nursing Advisors. We are a dedicated staff of Undeclared Pre-Nursing Advisors, meaning these are the students we work primarily with, and we're located in the College of Health and Human Sciences Student Success Center. We are direct liaisons to the School of Nursing, meaning we are up to date on the nursing prerequisites and requirements, as well as general education requirements and CSU graduation requirements. And our goal as Undeclared Pre-Nursing Advisors is to help assist all of our students with their ultimate career goals, whether that continues to be nursing, or even if you change your mind along the way, we're here to help you on your academic journey at San Jose State. And collectively, Max and I together bring about 10 years of experience working with students in higher education. So we're really happy that you're considering us and considering working with us here at San Jose State. So you'll hear us say UPN. And what does UPN mean? It's just a shorter way for us to say undeclared pre-nursing, because that's a mouthful. Undeclared pre-nursing, or UPN, is a track. And you'll hear us refer to it as a track because it is not a major or a degree granting major here at San Jose State. And what that means is you're on a track to complete your nursing prerequisites, your San Jose State graduation requirements, and your general education requirements. And you're working to be eligible to apply to our pre-licensure BSN or Bachelor of Science Nursing program, meaning you don't already have a nursing license. Okay, that's what the pre-nursing track is for. So because we're not a degree granting major, this means you're really here as you work on those prereqs, you work to be eligible to apply to nursing. And you do have a time frame in which you must be admitted to a degree granting major. Whether that be nursing or you end up wanting to pursue something else, that's fine, but there is a specific time frame. And if you're a first-time freshman, you've never attended college before, that time frame for you is 60 units, which is a junior level standing. You must be in a degree granting major by the time you've completed 60 units. And if you're an incoming transfer student, your time frame is 2 semesters. You can be enrolled for 2 semesters and must be admitted to a degree granting major by the end of your 2nd semester. Okay. Failure to meet those deadlines will result in you not being able to enroll in any additional courses here until you are admitted to a degree. So let's talk about some of the benefits of being in the undeclared pre-nursing program. Well, not to toot our own horn, but one of the major benefits of being undeclared pre-nursing is you get to work with this fabulous team of advisors you see here with you today. As I mentioned, we're a dedicated staff with over 10 years experience working with students, and we would be working with you one-on-one to develop a personalized academic and career plan. So we as advisors are going to meet with our undeclared pre-nursing students every semester. We're going to check in on your grades, monitor your progress, adjust your plans, adjust your registration each semester based on where you're at and what makes sense for you strategically and realistically. We will be monitoring your registration by placing and removing holds and helping you design not only your plan for nursing, but for an alternative in the event that you're not admitted. So in addition to working with this fabulous team of advisors, you do have some other benefits of being undeclared pre-nursing. And that is that you have access to all the services in our Student Success Center. And our Student Success Center, we're unique in that we actually have 2 locations. So we have a location in Macquarie Hall, and that's where Melanie resides. And Max and I can be found in the health building. And at both of these locations, you have access to our dedicated advisors. You also have dedicated study space if you need a quiet place to study. And you also have laptop rentals. So if you need technology like laptops, we have those that you can check out and use in our center. And lastly, we provide a number of workshops and events throughout the semester. We have physician's assistants, nurses, PAs, pre-health professionals come in and give their expertise and give workshops. We also have fun events like ice cream socials so that you can interact with other students in your college. And we provide a number of different services throughout the semester. Now, part of our academic planning, as I've already alluded to, will focus on completing the prereqs to make you eligible to apply to nursing. But in addition to that, we're going to make sure you're completing all of your general education requirements, all of your CSU graduation requirements, and we're also going to help you create complete requirements to prepare you for an alternative track. That alternative track could involve applying to other nursing programs outside of San Jose State. It could involve applying to other majors here at San Jose State that lead to health and or helping careers. So our ultimate goal is to help you plan academically for your first choice, which for most of you, I'm going to assume is nursing, but we're also going to help you plan for a potential if you're not admitted to our program that you can still pursue a career of your choosing. So we're going to be working concurrently on 2 different paths. Now, the nursing path looks a little bit like this. Nursing has 8 prerequisite courses, 3 co-requisite courses, and 1 required exam. That exam is known as the Test of Essential Skills, otherwise referred to as the TEAS exam. Nursing ranks their applicants by taking their GPA in the prerequisites, adding it to their score on the TEAS exam, and dividing that number by 30. That gives you what we call an impaction score. So what classes make up your impaction score? Well, we collectively refer to them as the Big 8 because they're weighted so heavily in your score. That is Bio 65 or Human Anatomy, Bio 66, Human Physiology, Com 20, which is Public Speaking, English 1A, Chem 30A, Introduction to Chemistry, any GE Area A3, which is our critical thinking requirement, Stat 95, Introductory Statistics, and Micro 20, Microbiology. You must have a minimum 3.2 GPA in these 8 courses to be eligible to apply to nursing. For the co-requisites, CHHS 70, which is Human Lifespan Development, Psych 1, Introduction to Psychology, and NUFS 8, Nutrition in the Health Sciences, you must have a C or better in each course. Those are our co-requisites. For the TEAS exam, this exam tests you on things like math, reading comprehension, vocabulary, anatomy and physiology. The minimum score is a 78 out of 100 or a 78%. And as I've mentioned, nursing will take your TEAS score, divide it by 30, and add it to your Big 8 to come up with your impaction score. Then they will rank all applicants from the highest impaction score to the lowest. And nursing will admit 60 students every semester. So now I'm going to hand it over to Max, who will give you a little bit of insight into the nursing admissions process.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Like she mentioned, my name is Max Estrada. I'm a SAS advisor here at the College of Health and Human Sciences. And a little bit about this San Jose State University nursing reality is that hundreds of students apply. As you can see, 300 to 500 student applicants on a semester basis, and only 60 of those spots are taken. So it is highly competitive. And this is one of the reasons we encourage students to try their hardest and be as competitive as possible when joining this track. So what exactly makes a competitive student in the nursing program? Well, you would have to aim for a 4.0 GPA and a 90s on your TEAS score. One thing that was mentioned previously is the prerequisites, which was the lower GPA, the 3.2 GPA to be able to apply. But that's not to say that being competitive means you have to try and get to these scores here. In terms of the UPN expectation for students, students are expected to meet certain criteria and expectations. These include attending mandatory advising appointments, checking your student email on a regular basis, so not only your personal email, but your student email, and following up on updates and information. This also means applying to the nursing program as soon as possible and as soon as you're eligible, and also being prepared with a backup plan in the event that you are not accepted into the nursing program. And we would like to thank you for attending this webinar, and we hope to see you all here this fall. Welcome to San Jose State University. And now I'm going to hand it back to Ashley to show you a bit more resources and give you a bit more information on what we have to offer for students.
Thank you, Max. So that was a very brief kind of overview about our program. And now we'd like to put some links in the chat to direct you to some resources that you can peruse at your leisure. The first is our Undeclared Pre-Nursing website. So if Max clicks on that, that's going to take you to our homepage, which details much of the information we've outlined today, such as the benefits of being in UPN, the expectations, and it also links to our frequently asked questions, which Melanie will put the FAQ link in the chat. But if you take a look at the frequently asked questions, that will also, I think, be a great resource for you to refer back to questions that we have come up again and again and our answers. And again, this is posted online, so you can refer back to it and take a look at it. So on your own time frame. The next link is a link to the actual Bachelor of Science nursing program here at San Jose State, which outlines a number of important information, such as the application process, which is you've applied to San Jose State, then the nursing major has a separate application process. The eligibility and prerequisites, which we've already reviewed briefly here, how to apply, and a number of other items that you can refer back to. So please bookmark these websites that we're putting in the chat. I think they're all great resources. And definitely last but not least is a link to our partners at the Career Center. So we do a lot of activities with the Career Center partnering because, as I mentioned, not only do we want you to hopefully gain admission to our nursing program here at San Jose State, but we want you to be armed with the tools needed to pursue an alternative nursing program somewhere else, or to pursue another health or helping career. So the Career Center is a great resource to look into options that you might not even know about yet. That might be right up your alley. So please do bookmark these sites so that you can refer back to them. And now we'd like to spend the majority of this time answering questions. So please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A. We'll do our best to get to as many of them as we can. And I do encourage you also to take a look at the frequently asked questions link that we put in the chat. So I will turn it back to Melanie, who's going to facilitate our question session.
So we do have one question up in our Q&A section, so we will be answering it live right now, and it'll give everybody else to take some time and think of any questions you may have and go ahead and put it on our Q&A section. So our first question is from one of our guests. So our guest, Talia, says, I applied as a first-time freshman, but took dual enrollment classes throughout high school and have 60 units. How long do I have to pick a degree earning major rather than staying as UPN?
Thank you. So that's a great question. And we have more and more students in Thalia's position who are doing that. You're overachievers. So unfortunately, the 60 unit rule does count for any dual enrollment AP or IB courses. So we'll work with you to determine the best plan for you on a case-by-case basis. But ideally, we'll have you applying to get into a major before you've earned 90 units. So that's definitely something that we, as your assigned advisor, will help you plan your classes very carefully.
Perfect. Thank you, Ashley. We have our next question. This question is from Joseph. His question is, do passing AP scores give me credit towards the Big 8?
Great question. So I'm going to have Max go back to our slide of the Big 8. So we can visually look at it while we talk about it. Great. So passing AP scores of a 3 or better can be used in place of Chemistry 30A, English 1A, GE Area A3, and Stats 95. So yes, AP credit will give you credit for those select courses already mentioned. And because there's no way for us to calculate a GPA from an AP score, it means you will get credit for the filling the requirement, but you won't have a grade. So for example, someone who has an AP for English 1A and Stat 95, now instead of having a big 8 GPA, you'll have a big 6 GPA, because we will remove the courses you got AP credit from, counting that you've taken it, but you won't have those grades calculated into your impaction score.
Thank you, Ashley. I have our next question from Jamie. How many students apply for spring semester, and do those applicants also include non-pre-nursing students?
Question. So thank you for the slide, Max. Typically, we have between 200 and 400 students who apply for a spring start, meaning applying the fall semester before for a spring admission to nursing. Those include current San Jose State students, and they can include any non-pre-nursing majors. So students in any major on campus can apply to nursing, which is why there's such a large number of students who apply each term.
Thank you. I have our next question. This question is from Jeremiah. If I have a passing score in calculus CLEP test, would I still need to take the Stats 95 course?
Yes, even if you have taken a CLEP exam for a math outside of statistics, you will need to take statistics. So nursing wants to see your performance in a statistics course. So even if you've taken calculus CLEP or calculus AB, you will need to take statistics.
Thank you. We have our next question from Abigail. And her question is, what score do we have to get credit from an AP test?
That's a great question. You need to earn a 3 or higher from an AP exam to get credit. And I'm going to put a link in the chat, and then I'll have Max click on the link to display our breakdown of AP credit. Oh, Max, can you click on there you go, perfect. So this AP placement exams will show you the AP exams we accept and the course equivalent, as well as the GE area you can earn credit for. So you can, again, bookmark the site and refer back to it so you can have a better idea. If you've taken AP exams, we also accept IB and CLEP exams of what courses you may already have fulfilled.
Thank you, Ashley. We have our next question from Amy. Her question is, when would be the first time we meet with our advisors, and will they help us with each class we need?
Great question, Amy. We are looking forward to meeting with all of our incoming students this summer at your Sparta Camp session. We will be meeting with students at that time to plan your classes for fall. And then, as we've mentioned, undeclared pre-nursing students are required to get mandatory advising every semester. So we'll be working with you every semester, planning for your next semester and multiple semesters at a time. But the first time we'll meet with all of you will be this summer at Sparta Camp.
Thank you. Our next question is from Joseph, and it is, how many units per semester is recommended?
So that's a great question, Joseph. We recommend 15 units per semester to be graduate in 4 years. So if that's not possible, however, I encourage each of you to think about your own life circumstances and what's manageable for you. So if that means taking 9 or 12 units a semester and taking a class or 2 in summer school to maintain an average of 30 units a semester, then we strongly encourage that. So while 15 to finish in 4 years is the motto, we recognize that that's not a one size fits all for every student. So as your dedicated advisor, we'll work with each of you to determine what the best unit load is for you. There are semesters in your prerequisites that you'll be taking some pretty heavy and intensive science courses. And so we might recommend fewer units that semester so that you can really focus on those intensive sciences and do the best that you possibly can.
Thank you. Our next question is anonymous, but the question is, if we do not get into the nursing program at San Jose State, are there alternative majors that are similar to nursing?
So we do have a number of alternative majors that can lead to health and or helping careers. So we also have a number of majors that have prerequisites that overlap with the nursing prerequisites. So we would be here to assist you in making a smooth transition to an alternative major that could not only make use of the courses you'd already taken, but also help prepare you for a career in public health, physical therapy, occupational therapy, audiology, child development, medical social work. We can definitely talk about all of those things, and we'll talk about those things with you as your assigned UPN advisor.
Thank you. Our next question is from Talia. And the question is, what kind of questions are in the TEAS test?
So the TEAS exam, and we can put a link in the chat to the actual ATI website that administers the TEAS exam, is a lot like the SAT in that there's reading comprehension, there are vocabulary questions, there's math questions, and then there's questions about anatomy and physiology. And so we normally recommend that you take this test after you've taken anatomy and physiology to make sure that you're prepared for it. And Melanie has put a link in the chat to the ATI testing website. That is the company that writes the TEAS exam. Thank you for that, Melanie.
We have our next question. This is from Anonymous. What is the highest level of math we need to take in high school in order to be qualified for pre-nursing?
That's a great question that you'd want to defer actually to the admissions office who sets the admissions criteria. And there's a number of things they're going to look at with regards to your math grades and making sure you meet the impaction criteria. But if you were provisionally admitted to undeclared pre-nursing, then we're so excited that you've met the criteria and hope that you join us this fall.
Thank you, Ashley. As of right now, those are all the questions that are in our Q&A queue. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to put them in our Q&A box so we can make sure to address them right here live. So we'll just give a couple of seconds to see if anybody thinks of any other questions. We have one question so far. This is from Anonymous. UPN doesn't secure us a spot, right? It just helps us move forward with the program.
Correct. Being undeclared pre-nursing or UPN does not guarantee you admission into the nursing program. As we've indicated, the program itself is very competitive and receives hundreds of applications from qualified students, individuals every semester. So the benefit of being undeclared pre-nursing is working with your advisor on your personalized plan, trying to make you the strongest applicant as possible. But unfortunately, just being undeclared pre-nursing does not guarantee you a spot in nursing.
Thank you. We have more questions popping in. So our next one is, what happens to students who still want to continue doing nursing, even if they get rejected the first time?
So you can apply to nursing a maximum of 2 times. So if you're not admitted the first cycle, you are welcome to apply in the next application cycle. However, students are limited to 2 attempts. If after 2 attempts, you are not able to gain admission, your options are to select an alternative major and pursue an alternative path here at San Jose State, or you can leave San Jose State and apply to multiple nursing programs in the state of California, outside of California. You can apply to the community college track. There's a number of options that we go over with our students, letting them know the multiple routes to nursing. While ideally you'll get in here and graduate with your Bachelor of Science in Nursing from San Jose State, we will go over alternative paths with you as part of your mandatory nursing advising. But yes, you are only limited to 2 attempts to gain admission to our program.
Thank you, Ashley. We have another question. Is there a waiting list for the nursing program?
So there is an informal waiting list of students who can potentially secure a spot if the first 60 applicants say no, they don't want to attend. So nursing will give the first 60 applicants a provisional admit letter. And if students say no, they no longer want to attend the nursing program, nursing will continue to go down the list until they get 60 students. So while it's not a really formal waitlist process, there is the potential if you're number 62 or 63 or 70 that you could still get admitted to nursing. If students say they no longer want to attend, nursing will continue to go until they get a full 60 cohort.
Thank you. We have another question. Are any scholarships available to help pay for the nursing program?
Yes, there are a number of San Jose State scholarships, as well as federal, local scholarships. And I believe Melanie is going to put a link in the chat to our financial aid website, or the website for some nursing scholarships. So there is definitely money to be had to help offset the costs. I will also mention that there is a cost associated with being in the nursing program. You do have to buy your own scrubs and stethoscope and blood pressure cuff, plus the textbooks. So you're can expect, to spend upwards of $1,000 to $2,000 in your very first semester just getting supplies. So there is a cost associated with all of the things you'll need in the San Jose State nursing program. Great questions, everyone.
So we don't have any more questions as of right now. We've had some really great questions from all of you. So we're going to give it just a little bit longer to see if we have any last minute questions kind of roll in. We have a question. Is it recommended to not join Greek life due to the difficulty of pre-nursing?
Melanie, since you were pre-nursing, would you like to take this question and give your perspective?
So when I did my undergrad, I came in as pre-nursing. My first year as an undergrad, I focused just on my classes. I did end up joining Greek Life my sophomore year. It became really hectic. I'm not saying you can't do it because I do have a couple of friends that somehow managed to do it, but it takes a lot of self-discipline, a lot of time management, and just like dedication from you. Everybody works differently. So like it became a lot for me to where my grades weren't where I needed them to be. So I ended up switching paths. But there were a very small handful that stuck with it and ended up becoming nurses. So it's honestly up to you. If you think you can handle it, if you also learn to prioritize, seeing how competitive this program is, seeing that for the most part, the top 60 are the students with a 4.0 GPA and 90% on their T's. Obviously, that means that you have to learn to prioritize nursing and your classes. So I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes either. It's just, I think that's going to just require a lot of self-reflection and self-awareness to what you are able to do and want to do.
Thank you for that honest and insightful answer, Melanie. And I would just probably echo that it's not really a black or white yes or no answer. I think as Melanie alluded to, it's going to come down to a lot of self-discipline and an ability to manage your time.
We have another question. So this question is, does the nursing program recommend volunteer or CNA experience?
So I think they definitely do recommend it. At this time, it's not required to gain admission. However, my personal philosophy as an advisor is that it's a great opportunity to see if you would like the day-to-day roles of a nurse. And I'm going to ask Melanie again to speak to this since she has experience in this particular area. So I'm going to hand it back to Melanie.
So I started off as pre-nursing, as I mentioned. So I did end up getting my CNA license the summer after my sophomore year. It was very insightful. It was a summer program, so it was a little fast-paced. It was really cool. We did our clinical hours at a retirement home, which is where most CNAs will end up doing their clinical hours, just depends on the program. It really gave me an insight of like, okay, so this is what it means to be a CNA, but also you were able to work next to a nurse. So I think it's good to have that kind of experience because you're on the like hands-on experience of like, are you going to be okay with bodily fluids? Are you going to be okay being on your feet for at least like 8 to 10 hour shifts, if not longer? When I was in high school, I actually ended up volunteering at my local hospital, and I was in the NICU as well as like the front desk, and that was what sparked my interest into nursing. I thought it was a really cool experience because I was able to start networking with nurses, how they got there, what they liked, what they didn't like. So I think it's really cool to be hands-on and start asking those questions, especially from people that are in the field and have been in the field, because it's helpful when they're honest of like, this is the good part, but this is the not so good part. And I know that when I went into CNA, I was like, oh, I think I can handle this. And I mean, I could for the most part, but then there were certain things where I was just like, okay, maybe I need to make sure I'm not working with like little kids. I'm not going to be going into pediatrics. Maybe I'll go into a clinic instead of a hospital. So I think it's super useful experience. We have another question from Vanessa. When you enter the nursing program, will you be able to pick what type of nurse you want to be?
So that's the great part of the nursing program. There are going to be a lot of courses and a lot of clinicals in a variety of different settings, as Melanie kind of mentioned. So you're going to get experience in a number of different areas, which should help be able to guide you for looking for employment afterwards about what type of nurse you'd like to be. If you'd like to be a charge nurse, if you'd like to work in the emergency room, pediatrics, NICU, things like that. So the nursing program itself will expose you to a lot of different types of nursing fields and careers to help guide you in deciding what's a good fit for you moving forward into your first professional position.
Thank you, Ashley. That concludes all of our questions for now. We do still have a couple of minutes left in our presentation, so if anybody thinks of any other questions, please feel free to type them in. We'll give it just a little longer to see if we have any questions roll in. We haven't had any other questions roll in just yet, so I will hand it over back to you, Ashley.
Thank you, Melanie. So we're going to put up a slide here with all the events or with the websites for our ASD programming. We encourage you to refer back to the sjsu.edu/admitted Spartan days to view any sessions you might not have been able to attend, or view the recordings for sessions that maybe you did attend if you still have questions. So check out financial aid or housing, or the next steps to enroll presentations. And as we've already mentioned, please come back and check for our presentation in a day or two, and you can refer back to it if you have any questions. And you can also visit any of the websites we put in the chat, including our frequently asked questions and our UPN website, as well as the nursing website. We're so thankful to have had you as students and your families here today. We hope you found this session very informational and enjoyable, and we hope you all say yes by May 1st, and we hope to see you at Sparta Camp this summer. Thank you all for attending, and we look forward to seeing you soon.